God knows they told me they really did. But I believed you, I really did.
If everybody could please, that was very loud. If everyone could take their seats, stop it. Stop. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Stop it. Behave yourselves. If you could please take your seats now. Alex, sit down. Cheers.
All right, Joey. Media awards? Tonight? Ah, not just man for the job. Endo, Joey's been on. Media awards. Tonight. You know what to do.
Tonight?
Tonight we welcome you to the Media Awards. There's not one, but 2 Newcomers of the Year awarded.
In student media, everybody is a winner, except it's an award night, so most people lose. There's going to be canapes, there's going to be drinks. You'll have to pay for them. It's £2 entry, but the fun is free.
This is where it happens. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity every single year.
Yes! Come on!
There'll be tables, there'll be chairs, there'll be glasses, there'll be plates, there might even be people.
It's one award, followed by another award, followed by 17 awards.
Whatever I said or whatever I did, I didn't mean it. The Media Awards are back for good.
All awards are equally important, except the ones which are more important.
It's live, forever, but only tonight.
Hooray!
The most prestigious award, Music Show of the Year, apart from other music and other shows.
Looking for something different, new and exciting? Don't look anywhere else but here. Lots of people will be there. Those from behind the camera, those from on radio, and those to the left of the paper.
Experts are describing this as the closest media awards yet, but that just depends how close to the union you live. Records will be broken, bars will be set, but not too high or I won't reach them.
Some people will dress up, some people will dress down. One thing for certain, I'll be wearing this suit.
Live from venue. It's the 2018 Media Awards.
Tonight is the night where the giants of the illustrating world take on the behemoths of the photographers in a fight that's already been determined by media exec.
Choose who you're sitting with and choose wisely. You might hate them.
So close you can smell the awards, taste the illustrations and touch the writers.
Grab a canapé, an amuse-bouche, an hors d'oeuvre. If it's French, it costs more.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your hosts, James Sproster and Alex Handley.
Whoa.
Does that work? Hello?
That was so much longer than we remembered. We're
Yeah.
so sorry. Thank you for laughing.
That was
We really appreciate
painful
it.
to watch.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah, if you've not gathered, I'm James and this is Hendo and we're going to be some
Alright.
kind of host tonight.
Yeah, that's what we're planning on doing. Anyway, welcome, and Thank you for coming to Media Awards 2018.
We've got a little bit of housekeeping because none of you ever do this right any single year. So this is how it's going to work. Everyone, when the nominees are read out, you can whoop in between, but it's going to be pretty rhythmic. So like try and clap at the end, and then when the winner is announced, they come to the stage. You can say something if you want. No picture up here, a picture around the corner, and then back to your seat. Bish bash bosh.
Absolutely, and if you follow those rules, we'll get on like a house on fire. And if the house is on fire, then follow the fire exit signs very carefully and safely. Anyway, there's going to be a few more videos for you, yeah, and there's going to be some awards as well. How many awards, James?
19 awards.
That's brilliant. Could have done 20.
Yeah, could have done.
That's a shame.
That's
and we've got 2 guest speakers, James.
We do.
Who are they?
We've got Russ Williams from NSR, founder of NSR, and we've got Ben Travis, a former editor of the Courier.
Anyway, shall we have an award?
Yeah, let's start. We're going to start with Journalist of the Year award. So to present this award, we have 2 writers that have stepped up to edit the arts and music sections this year, one of whom is a former runner-up from last year's awards. Please welcome Karis Thomas and Ali Wilson.
Firstly, we'd like to thank the powers that be that put this award first, because that means that me and Karis can now drink the contents of our table, which is great.
Not to say that I haven't actually already drank quite a bit of it, sorry. But yeah, basically, you know, like, all of the editors, sub-editors, like James as well, everyone started off as a writer, so it's really nice to have an award that recognises, like, the sort of foundation of the existence of the Courier.
And we'd just like to extend a massive thank you to everyone who's written for the Courier this year. There's been some excellent journalism, some very heated debates, and it's been a joy for all of us editors to like read your work and low-key make it better, and just produce it for you, because it's amazing to have your work presented to the student voice.
Yeah. Now I'm just gonna. Do I just present?
Yeah. Just read out the nominees first.
Where is that? Yes! It's difficult going first. So the nominees are Callum Costello, Grace Dean, Rory Ellis, Amy Gilder, Rebecca Johnston, and Rowena Talden Patterson. Sorry. And the winner is Grace Dean!
Well done, Grace, but she is in Deutschland, so that's one more for my collection. Wow, brilliant. Okay, so next up we have Best Newcomer to NSR. So here to announce the winner is someone who took home this award last year, 2017, and since that thumping victory has gone on to be a fantastic head of music at NSR. It is Meg Smith.
I kind of wrote a little speech and I was going to joke about how I couldn't wait to get pissed, and I was glad my award was first, but beat me to it, so let's still get pissed. I won this last year, and honestly, if I was a newcomer this year, I would have no chance, because everyone who's been a newcomer this year has been absolutely amazing. So everyone who's been nominated, honestly, a huge congrats to you guys.
Andrew McCall, Andrew, welcome. Hi Roy, great to be here.
Lewis Grantham.
Wednesday afternoon, and I'm Louis, and I do a show on a Sunday, but I'm here this afternoon to take you through the second hour of the music hour, and it's going to be a bit of a faster one today, because
Ha Nguyen.
Want to win. I'm still here. I don't want to leave. I'm not leaving until I've got newcomer. No, I'm really not leaving. I mean, I might have to leave soon. This is going on a bit. And I'm running out of things to say, and I'm scared people are going to stop laughing.
Here we go.
The best I've felt about myself in a long time. It's very loud.
The nominees for Newcomer of the Year are...
What's the story? Andrew, welcome. Hi, Roy.
Lewis Grantham,
But I'm here this afternoon the second, and I do a show on a Sunday, but I'm here this afternoon to take you through the second hour of the music hour, and it's going to be a bit of a faster one today because...
Ha Nguyen,
Do you know who the nominees are, Mick?
Yes, I do, in fact.
We'll go with that.
Yep, we'll do that.
Right,
That was for
so
the
we've
comedic
got
effect.
Louis Grantham. We've got Hein Nagayan. I was really scared that I was going to have to say your name, but it came out anyway. We've got Annie Washko. Woo! We've got Rory Ewart. And we've got Dermot O'Hare. Is that everyone? Is that everyone? I believe that is everyone. So the winner has been an absolute asset to NSR this past year. They kind of revitalised a dying team. Well, it wasn't even dying, it was dead in the ground, buried 10 feet under. They were in every single day to produce and present the daily news bulletin. They were always in helping out with this team. They've done so well with social media. They've done a video on the NSR Facebook page, which has got 10,000 people outreach, which is the biggest one we've ever had, which 10,000 people, that's amazing. So obviously the winner is none other than Dermot O'Hare.
Thank you very much. I hope you're all enjoying your evening. It's been an absolutely amazing experience this year. It's been absolutely incredible. The committee, firstly, I'd like to thank. They've been absolutely amazing to allow me to come into a group of people and just be given total freedom and creative freedom to do whatever I wanted was incredible. I'd like to thank everyone on my news team this year. Has been an absolute breeze, a joy, and we've done something quite amazing. We built this team from nothing. And final thank you to Tom and Charlie at Poetry in Action, who, when news was getting really, really dull and bad, allowed me to go and do something really fun and exciting, and it made my day. So thank you very much, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. There may be some technical difficulties. This is very last minute, but it's all part of the fun. Next up, we have NUTV Newcomer of the Year, presented by NUTV's Head of Production and ever-present member, Ava Forbes.
Hello, thank you. Those of you who know me know that I love the sound of my own voice, but I fucking hate public speaking. Oh God, I've sworn already. Sure. Reading speeches. I was meant to write this down, so I didn't swear. Okay. But yeah, I want to start by saying that as this year's head of production for NUTV this year, and being acting station manager currently, this year has been amazing for student television at Newcastle. Also, just to acknowledge Krishma Joshi, who's been this year's station manager, can't be with us tonight because she's ill in hospital. This award was so hard to pin down a winner for because we've had so many new and passionate people make our 10th year our strongest year so far. As I said, this year has had some great talent enter NUTV, and it has been my pleasure to work with everybody and the team to produce some really fantastic content. But anyway, that was loud. On with the award. Is the video going to work this time? Yeah? Right, brilliant. Why is it always the media awards this time?
The nominees for Newcomer of the Year are Mickey Iqbal, Laura Purvis, Alexandra Radzijewska, Charlotte Washington,
So on to the winner. The recipient of this award has devoted so much time to NUTV, producing regular and high quality content. Not only do they excel in production of one of our biggest shows and events, they have also shown ability to adapt to any facet of the TV making process. For me, at a time when only 2 members of NUTV's committee were in Newcastle, this person was a godsend, even before they were elected onto committee themselves earlier this year. It has also been a pleasure to have studied alongside her for the past 3 years in many a media law or journalism practice lecture. The winner is, of course, Laura Purvis.
Thank you very much. Obviously joined NUTV this year, obvious. I kind of wish I'd discovered it a bit sooner in uni, graduating this summer. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and it's just an opportunity to do stuff a lot faster than you do kind of on the course, and picking things up quicker and just jumping in and getting involved. It's been really good. Thank you very much.
Okay, brilliant. So well done to our 3 first winners of the evening. Yeah, if you want. Next up, we have another little video. We asked a few of you this week to tell us your favourite media moments. Big cheer over there. So here we go. This is what you told us.
My Courier highlight. My Courier highlight would have to be a certain night in February-ish when I'd met the Courier people in town. James had failed to get me into the back. Well, actually, no, we got into Flares, but then the bouncer had seen us enter through the back door and we were asked to leave. So upon leaving, we went to the Courier House, which, if you don't know, is a late-night curry house in Newcastle. It's open till 3 a.m. on weekdays and 6 a.m. on weekends. And we took Tom Shrimplin there, and others, and we ordered Tom a jalfrezi, as he was unable to order himself. At which point, he failed to eat the jalfrezi, threw up what he had eaten of the jalfrezi in the Courier toilets, came back and proceeded to fall asleep, essentially in his jalfrezi, upon his arrival back at the table. And nothing to do with the media will top that for me ever.
I don't know, we did this like little thing where we kind of just didn't leave that room for a bit more. 20 hours?
It's 20 hours on air, but I did sleep on this sofa after it.
My favourite moment of the year was during Stan Calvert. I was updating a live results table on the website, and at one point on the final Sunday of Stan Calvert, that was the most up-to-date source of information. So both Northumbria and Newcastle sports centres were using my little table as their source of information.
And we raised £220 for charity, and I reckon that I was on, like, that's a third of what I've been on air. I reckon I've done 60 hours. 60 hours.
It feels like it, buddy.
It did after 20 hours.
So my favourite career moment for this year would probably be the creation of the pumpkin Halloween feature, because I didn't really know my fellow senior eds then, and we all got together at Jared's house.
I really love doing the music team show this year because we chat absolute bollocks, like don't even know what we talk about, but they're just a really nice bunch of people to hang about with. They're so lovely. They even did a lovely like surprise for me when I left yesterday on my last show, and they're all just really nice people, and I'm really jealous that they've got 2 more years to like live and still be here. I feel like I am.
So my favourite moment this year has to definitely be Stan Calvert. After watching a lacrosse match in the freezing cold before the sun came out, coming back here, and then about 10 o'clock getting the best Pizza Hut delivery ever.
He dubbed himself Banter Claus. It totally wasn't Tom Shrimplin in a cheap costume. And he then proceeded to like dispense presents. I got a Frozen CD, something I didn't know I wanted. I still don't know that I want it.
It was absolutely fantastic pizza, and also the copious amounts of tea definitely helped us last to 4 o'clock to get the paper done.
and he then proceeded to just sort of hang around with us, getting increasingly inebriated, to the point that like I went to the toilet, as is my wont, and found that there was sticky Santa vomit in the sink.
NUTV highlight was the Mind the Gap conference this year, because it was the first time everyone came together, and that me and Harris were able to teach some of the newer members how to use the live stream equipment, and it just worked really well, especially the second day. And yeah, they did us so proud, because obviously me and Harris were on panels and things because we're really involved in Mind the Gap and things. So not only did they learn it that day, they were doing it on their own that day, and that was the most fantastic thing. That it made me feel like all warm and fuzzy inside.
Is when we did the SRA chart show, and me, Luke and Liv had a race to get to as many Gregs as possible in 20 minutes, and I think I won with 8 in Newcastle City Centre.
Okay, so my favourite career moment is quite cheesy, but basically just meeting and working with my fellow beauty editors, Suzanne and Lois, because they're both amazing. But also, my highlight of every writers' meeting was Jack Coles reading out his article ideas for that week, because it just made me laugh every time. So yeah.
Yeah, so there was this time, like a few months ago, I was like 6 points down at a Courier office party, and then James suggested that we all go and get shots. So we went downstairs to like Luther's / Men's Bar, depending on how old you are, and James was like, could I get like 30 quid's worth of like your finest tequila or Sambuca or whatever it was, please?
Yeah, so the highlight for me this year was definitely Fight Night. Last time we had a collaboration between the three media on this level was, I think, just before I joined NUTV, so I wasn't able to be part of that, but it was it was a success back then. It's a shame we never got a chance to replicate that until this year, but the work we put in this year and sort of making a full media broadcast was phenomenal. I'm so proud with what we've established, and hopefully that'll set the foundations for a continuation for the future years to come.
And the woman behind the counter, she just went white, like she was going, is this legal? Like, can we even count that high? And so we came back up, we had this tray of like 30 shots or something, and we all had a shot. And the moral of the story is, it can't have been that good a memory, because I don't remember much after that.
My moment of the year, I'm going to be very self-centered about this, was when me and Liv did our 2-hour show. That was the first time Liv was on the radio. I've been trying to get her on for ages, and she finally agreed to it. And that was the show that G&T was
fomented.
I don't think that's the word.
Is that not thing?
No, that's not a word. But you know.
Were you impressed by the sick?
I mean, it looked viscous, and it was a very particular shade of brown.
Hope you all enjoyed that one. Thank you to everyone who took part. It was good crack. But we're moving on to the Courier Award for Photography and Illustration. So to present this one, to present this one, we're going to bring up 2 Courier heavyweights to the stage. We're bringing Zoe Godden and Mark Slayton.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, first of all, thanks for having us. This is my final year at Newcastle. The Courier's kind of been a big part of my life since then. Before I move on to this award, I want to give an anecdote of James at last year's Media Awards. So the day after, I saw James after we'd have a lovely night out, and he told me that he wanted me to be culture editor this year. And it turns out he had passed out on a bench, but his drunk self had saved himself some chicken nuggets in his pockets for when he woke up. And nothing has changed.
I just want to say, though, a couple of years ago I was helping to organise the Media Awards, and I put nowhere near as much effort into it as James and Sandra have tonight. So I think a round of applause for the videos, for everything that they've done. But now we get down to business.
Right, so without further ado, the award for photography and illustration commends the work of artists, photographers, and just your average Courier enthusiast who has gone above and beyond to create amazing action shots, find the perfect pose, or take time to create beautiful artwork to bless our pages. We can't always use copyright-free photos, but these nominees have ensured the paper is always looking fresh.
As you can probably tell, they made that up on the spot, no notes.
And so the shortlisted nominees are Helena Buchanan, Becky Irvine, Sydney Isaacs, Julia McGee-Russell, Courtney Strait, and Kevin Wong.
And the winner of the award for photography and illustration goes to Helena Buchanan.
Thanks.
Obviously, you know, all this media, you know, political, cultural, like, importance, we all know what we're here for, and that is the pretty pictures. Yeah, okay, thanks.
All right, two very quick things. First one is when people come up here, talk into this. Don't do a Liam Gallagher, just grab it. Yeah. And what was the other thing? Oh, anyone that's coming to present NSR from now on, the videos don't work again. So just, really sad. So just read out the nominees instead. Okay, so next we have newcomer. No, we don't. That's a lie. That is a complete and utter lie. We have music show. Thank you. Get up here. Yeah. Right, we've got music show. To present this, we have Rory, who has broken new ground in that he is a first year and also head of sport at NSR. He's a fantastic commentator and presenter. And we have NSR's deputy station manager, Harry Parsons, who is obnoxiously arrogant, a friend to few, an acquaintance to many. Here we go.
To be fair, I'm glad he brought that. I forgot the high heels, so you know that's brilliant. No, right. Fantastic.
Okay, look at you.
Oh, right. There we go.
Okay, fine.
I knew it.
They say you can't put a price on humour, but that cost me £5. Naturally for the Music Show of the Year award, they've chosen two people who are perfectly qualified for this. Rory hosts a 1-hour talk sports show. I host a country music show, which you've all listened to, so naturally I'm not nominated. Right. Shall we begin? Shall we begin with the nominees? You need to make sure you're in the microphone, Rory. You're a radio presenter. Come on.
Sorry, everyone.
Right. So we thought with the nominees, you've got the list here, we actually looked at the names of them and we realised in our own order, which we'll go through, we think it describes the night out we're about to have.
So if we begin with that, Jazz & Co., your evening starts slowly, pretty sophisticatedly, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. As the evening begins, as it already has, I know some of the most competitive of you in the room will already trying to be keeping track of who's doing best, who's winning and who isn't. You're keeping the score. What's the score?
Yeah. And then, you know, the evening gets pretty late. I mean, this is my bedtime after 8. That's bedtime for a first year like myself. But people begin to drink a bit more and more after that point, wouldn't you say, Harry?
Yeah, we started quite late. It's gone 8, beyond 8. So the after 8 show, of course. Beyond from there, of course, as we head into town, many of us will be going to certain places. There's some discount entry that people have organised for tonight. But some of you will decide to peel off, try to get into the back entrance, as we've heard, of some cheesy music venues. You'll be looking for the DeLorean discs of the evening as you head to Flares.
Exactly. And then, as most of the NSR music team, they'll head to the car, they'll get absolutely shit-faced, let's not lie, and there'll be an absolute mess. But they're not just any old mess. These guys are cool.
They are cool. They're really
There'll
cool.
be an alternative mess.
Indie. Easy. And then, of course, as the night ends, well, we know what NUTV get up to, don't we? They're off to the cat lab. Well, Rory, we'll announce the winner in a minute. Of course, you didn't win earlier, so it's going to be, I'll let you announce the winner. It's kind of like a half win for you there. It's all right, it's fine.
He's always thinking of me, thank you.
It's embarrassing though, isn't it? So, the winner is...
The winner this year for NSR Music Show of the Year, it is DeLorean Discs.
He hasn't left the stool, which is adorable.
I'm staying on this all evening.
Oh my god, that's a lot of people. You'd think I'd be good at this, speaking, but it's a lot easier when you're behind a microphone with headphones on. I didn't expect this in the slightest, and I want to say that it's not cheesy music at all. I hope.
It's not.
It's not. It is 80s, so most of you will think that that's the case. I had a lot of fun doing that show, actually. I did a lot of research. I grew up on a lot of 80s music, so yeah, it's been a fantastic year for me for NSR. Thank you very much for this. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Just before we move on, don't worry about getting through the wine on the table. I hear there's £6 bottles behind the bar, so get through yours, get through that, and then we'll head upstairs. We're going to move on to the NUTV Editor of the Year, and if you'll give me a bit of silence, just before you get too rowdy, we're going to go to a familiar face, both behind and in front of the camera, Saffron Kershaw-Me.
Hello, you alright? Right, hang on, I've got a little speech, because I'm well professional on that. Okay, so editing is a technical skill that is often underappreciated by the viewing masses. An editor's ability to turn a sometimes intimidating mass of raw video clips into a single high-quality product requires a keen sense of timing, visual awareness, a high level of attention to detail, and most importantly, a creative streak to ensure the video is both engaging and informative. So with that, let's have a look at the nominees.
The nominees for Editor of the Year are Laura Purvis, Harris Qureshi,
every single time. I remember like being home for Christmas, sitting with a brew, watching Home Alone on my own. My mum was upstairs, and she said every 2 minutes to be like, I haven't really had a
Alexandra Rajijevska,
Quick fire round, can you name them? Oh, I know there's one called Sarah. Is there one called Sarah?
And then the
Joy
videos
Wong
from that were posted onto YouTube, and then so near the end of last year, Sky contacted us, and that's when they asked us to be on their TV show.
You know, was it proper? Could you proper air it? Do you want details? Oh, is that Cheers Boatfield? Right. Oh, right, okay. I might be crap with pronunciation. Right, so the nominees are Laura Purvis, Harris Qureshi, Alexandra Rajijevska, did I get that all right? Is that okay? And Joy Wong. So well done, you guys, for getting nominated in the first place. That's always mint. Right, so tonight's winner is incredibly well-deserving for this award. They have come leaps and bounds this year, getting stuck into pretty much every aspect of NUTV. As our recently elected head of production, they've jumped well into the role headfirst, and you've probably seen them around at any NUTV event covered this year, including Fight Night, Man the Gap Conference, and many more. This person's shown a constant dedication to high-quality editing through their production of the Coffee House sessions, never failing to post every single week on time and with a production quality that stands above the rest. In terms of, I've almost done. In terms of their editing, the level of progression they've made is outstanding to say that they've only really started editing at the start of this academic year. They are dedicated, hardworking, and a proper good laugh to work with. The winner of NUTV Editor of the Year is Laura Purvis.
Thanks again. Again, just enjoy being part of the team and getting involved and doing a bit of everything. And if it goes wrong, you fix it. And yeah, it's just really good. Thank you.
Mixing the grade and the great. To introduce our fantastic keynote speaker, I would love to bring to the stage NSR Station Manager, Megan Long.
So yeah, my job is to introduce Russ to the stage. I'm really proud to do this because Russ is actually the founder of NSR. So anyone who's had any involvement with NSR over the last 20 years really has him to thank because he's the one that made it happen. And for me, that's really important because I've loved NSR and I know so many other people have. And he has gone on to have this amazing career and I know he's going to talk a little bit about it. So I'm not going to talk for any longer. I'll introduce Russ Williams to the stage.
Evening all. Thank you very much, Megan. Much appreciated. I have to say, this is amazing. I was last in this room. I won't do too many of these, but just humour me a minute. I was last in this room 21 years ago, and I feel really old. Actually, it's not changed that much. It's a bit more showbiz bar. I remember trying to get a drink over there, and it used to take about an hour. But we did have, at the end of the broadcast, we did have Judge Jules coming live from this room, and we broadcast it on FM, which was quite exciting. So that's kind of the thing I hadn't really clocked that such a big change. NSR now is a massive operation. It's 24/7 almost. It's all the time. We basically had a month, which was we started on 22nd of February 99. We went on air, and we had a month, and that was it. We were done. We were finished because we had to do our finals, and it was such a big crescendo. And I didn't really sleep for that period. It was quite stressful. There was a long stress of getting it on air. So we actually started, which is why you've had the 20-year anniversary. It kind of started in October '97 is when I first went to the union here and said, can I start a society? The only reason really was to try and get some money from membership fees. I didn't really have any plan of what anyone would do or how it would work. And then we got to council status, which was quite a major step forward the next year, 98, which I think's where the date came from. But we still needed about 20 grand to get on. On air, there were three main problems. We had to get a license, which at the time was blocked. We had to get a studio and kit, and we had to get a transmitter, and we needed about 20 grand to make all that happen. So it was quite challenging. We basically went around the city to all the businesses saying, give us some money, most of which said, well, it's a really nice idea, we'll support you, but we won't give you any money. So yeah, it was fantastic when you finally did get on air, and I'm so proud that we managed to do it because there were quite a few people against it, weirdly. There were people here in the union that didn't want it. There were all kinds of people that were like, well, what do you want a radio station for? And I was like, well, why not? You know, why? Surely it's only going to help people get opportunities to get jobs and learn skills, and it's not costing anyone anything. What's the problem? We were going to be self-funding. We weren't getting any money from the union. I think that's still the case, right? Yeah. So why was there a thing saying no? It's going to be a money pit. It's going to go wrong. And I'm very proud to say, you know, that I was luckily able to prove the doubters wrong and show them what a great opportunity NSR gave me starting it, but obviously so many people since then and everyone working on it now. I have to say it's fantastic to see the committee now. Everyone's so passionate, and it's exactly kind of what I thought about having to happen, but I wasn't ever sure it would ever either last when I left or even for a while, even start at all. So there is a story. You probably might know this, but it was going to be until about 10 days before we went on air. It was going to be called Nuclear, in a kind of new, as in Newcastle, clear, well, you can hear it kind of way. And yeah, it's actually better. I think NSR is probably better. And we had this we had this atomic bomb kind of logo, which is all a bit wrong now when you look back. And we thought it was cool. And we were, every pound, we absolutely needed every pound. We literally had no money left. All the money we had, we spent on it, on transmission fees, like a PRS license, all that stuff. And we'd been promised £3,000 from the company that owned at the time Newcastle Brown Ale, Scottish in Newcastle. They had an office here, they had a big brewery here at the time, it's not here anymore. And they said, we just can't do it. I was like, why? They said, well, the name of your station is actually a derogatory term for our product. And I was like, oh yeah, I can see that is a bit of an issue. So I went back to the committee, I said, we've just got to change the name. And they're like, what? You can't do that. It's all flyers, everyone knows it, it's all going to happen. I was like, well, if we don't have the £3,000, it's not going to happen, is it? And they're like, well, I think you're being a bit sort of like proper about this. I was like, well, do we want a radio station or not? Yes. Exactly, thank you. So I said, right, let's change it. I think a sort of default option, I'd got to know really well a guy called Martin who's running LSR in Leeds. And he said, just call it NSR, you know, like Leeds, Newcastle, same sort of thing. I was like, okay, let's do that. And so that's how the name came about. It was one of those things where I suppose at the time everyone was like, you can't change the name. I was like, well, looking back now, I don't suppose many people even know about that, but it all seems so important to us. So one other thing I want to talk about, have we got any of the pictures I sent through, by the way? Yes. Ah, there we are. Yeah, so this is actually the second schedule. I think maybe, I don't know if you got the first one there, but this is the second schedule. I know the guy, bless him, Drew, he stayed up all night in my room designing this because it would be that close to the wire with the printing. You can see that the actual, they kept the nuclear logo, strangely. Sort of, no one would have known why that was there. 107.5 obviously was the frequency. I understand you have a lot more shows, a lot more variety. I stupidly gave myself a breakfast show. I didn't really think that through as students, even though I was one, starting at 8 o'clock. And I had literally, we'd been building the studio until the night before we went on air. The technical guy, Anders, was a bit of a maverick, and he'd actually taken the power out to this building on 2 occasions that evening by just trying to solder something. And honestly, it was quite dodgy. We finally got on air, and I just opened the mic. I was like, I don't know what to say. I just don't. I went for a walk kind of outside around here. I was like, where's Russ? Where's he gone? What's he doing? Well, he's lost it. I was like, no, I just need some time to think about how I haven't even thought about this. Too busy kind of making it happen. It kind of makes you think that there's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot of, obviously, to make it happen behind the scenes, but all the guys on air as well. It's not easy just to open a mic and think that what you might say could be interesting to people. I never think what I have to say is interesting to anyone. But I think it takes a certain talent, and the key thing I wanted to make is, if you can do it in this environment where it's a bit quite tricky and doesn't always work, it's a lot better now than it was, but still you're up against it. Then when you actually get into the world of professional radio, it's actually quite easy in some ways. You kind of, oh, I can do this. I don't even have to worry about whether that's going to break or So. I think what the key point I wanted to make tonight is this whole thing, all the media here, Courier, obviously the TV wasn't around when I was here, and NSR, is such a massive opportunity. The fact you're kind of doing it mostly outside of your course really matters. There are national organisations like the Student Radio Station, which I was really proud to be part of. Have we got the next image there, picture? Here we are. So that was the first day. I'm hiding the nerves. The only reason I got the Mirror to sponsor it, because I kind of worked for them in my holiday. And that's Jamie, who is the second station manager. He lives in Perth now. Let's go to the next one. So I joined the Student Radio Station Association, and the point of that was that they are a national body. They're the only national body that represents student radio, and that's where the professional radio industry looks and goes to for the next talent. And I wanted to get a job. I'm sure most of you would want to. And I have to say, I can't emphasise enough the importance of national bodies like that. You meet people that are station managers around the country or whatever job you're doing in the station. There's the awards, which really do mean something. If you win a Student Radio Award, obviously these awards are just as important. But if you win a Student Radio Award, they're looked at by the likes of Radio 1, and there are quite a few people now on air on Radio 1 who won those awards. So it's not to be sniffed at. And this was kind of like my gang around student radio at the time. So I'm there on the left, on the bottom picture. If we can do the next one. This is what everyone does now. I remember all these guys. I see them all quite regularly now. It just shows what you can achieve if you really use what you learn and your experience here to good effect, and I'm sure you all will. I think that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Cheers.
Everywhere I go, everywhere that I've been.
Hello? Is that working? Russ Williams, everyone, spinning his radio yarn. Okay, so next we have the Courier Article of the Year, and to announce this one, we have Kira, who started the year as a science editor and ended it as a culture senior editor, as is her talent, and a man who needs no introduction. It's Jack Coles.
Hello. So obviously we want to put a big thank you out to everyone who writes articles throughout the year. Obviously the paper could not run without you.
Especially those really intelligent, brave and sexy people who write for the science section.
You're a rarity, we need you. Our shortlisted nominees are...
Campus Changes, the latest developments around uni by Mike Slater.
Makes a really dull subject sound very interesting. In Defence of Tom Nook, A Good Boy at Heart by Jordan Olman.
To be honest, I was surprised to see this one shortlisted, given that we're in a Labour-dominated constituency and it's a pro-capitalist piece.
Ooh.
And then we have In Praise of POC, The View from the Emirates, Matt Proctor.
We haven't had a chance to read this one. We don't know what POC is, but we're really hopeful to... Pochettino. You see, you learn something new every day in the Courier.
Isn't that amazing?
Okay, so Hardly Athletic, fall at the first hurdle, Dan Haygarth.
I know, Dan kicks balls for like an hour and he gets an article out of it. Me, I kick balls for an hour and I get charged for grievous bodily harm. And then next up we have The Brit School, The Most Effective Way to Buy Fame by Molly Greaves.
It's not, is the conclusion. Travel review, Singapore, Bali and the Gili Islands by Talia Gillen.
And I would just like to congratulate Talia Gillen for finding a place that rhymes with a name.
Okay, and can we have the drum roll please for the winner? Oh. And the winner is Hardly Athletic Fall at the First Hurdle by Dan Haygarth.
Cheers, thank you for this. I'd like to thank the players of Hardly Athletic, because if they weren't so shit, my articles wouldn't be that good. And I'd like to thank Mark, James and Hendo for putting up with me writing about a shit football team once a week. And yeah, this is sound. Cheers.
Trying to smile, but the air is so heavy and dry.
Hello? Hello? Okay, right, we're good. Good to go. So we're going to go on to NSR Presenter of the Year, and to present this one, we've got one of the most tenacious men in radio, the head of news, under the 2018 Newcomer of the Year, Dermot O'Hare.
Thank you, James. So,
Yeah, I'm here to present NSR Presenter of the Year. All of these wonderful nominees are the brightest and best Newcastle Student Radio has to offer. They are upbeat, professional, and charismatic. Collectively, they have all played an instrumental part in the growth of NSR this year, so it is only fair that they receive the recognition from us here tonight. The nominees are... Yeah. Thank you. It's Liv Kyle, Alex Henley, Luke Oddie, Harry Parsons, Alex Reed, and Ollie Thomas. The winner of this award has been an incredible presenter this year. They have come across as relatable, professional, and deeply entertaining. They have maintained control of a team that creates a universal, high-quality content. They've worked on many high-quality shows, such as the 90 Minute Show and the SRI Chart Show. The winner is Alex Reed.
Oh my God, that is insane. Thank you so much. That's crazy. Well done to, I mean, everyone else was nominated is much better presenting than me, so I have no idea why I won. But yeah, I've been very lucky to work alongside some of them and heard the rest. You've all got great shows, and thanks to people doing amazing stuff on the committee and everywhere else. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, well done. Even if it was the wrong decision. I'm going to move this because most people aren't that tall. Most people aren't that small either. I don't know, do it yourself. Next up is NUTV Presenter of the Year, and to present this one is an absolute stalwart of NUTV, so much so she has already won 2 awards tonight. It's Laura Purvis.
So, as you probably gathered by my speeches so far, I don't do presenting. I am not a presenter in any way, shape or form, so I very much respect people who are. This person, in fact, nominees are, that would help. So nominees for the Presenter of the Year for NUTV are Rory Hewitt.
The nominees for Presenter of the Year are Rory Hewitt.
It did seem as if Muzzy and Boulay should never have been in there in the first place, seemingly pumping up Ollie Gilby in the ring.
Hello guys, welcome
Zoe
to the second
Godden.
episode of the year of Toon Vision. I am your host Zoe Godden, and with me today we have our guests Ava and Saf, and today we're going to be talking about Christmas movies, because it's that time of season.
Festivity.
Insert some snow here, I know.
I appreciate you all.
Megan Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
also,
and we all love pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
So get out.
I
Get out.
I hate it. Wrong.
Hey guys!
Joy
Welcome to
Wong.
the second episode of Society Club Spotlight. This episode is special.
So the winner of this award is somebody who has been crucial in bringing together NUTV and NSR. She's been involved in a weekly show. I've had the pleasure of working with her all year. She's been very helpful for me my first year of NUTV, and it's been very good to work with her. And it is, of course, Megan Smith.
Oh, what a swaggy entrance music. Jeez. Yeah, no, Coffee House Session has been amazing, kind of marrying NSR and NUTV, and it's been really great. Don't really know what else to say. Keep on drinking, guys. Let's get smashed.
We managed to find someone who was that tall, so apologies for that. We're going to move on to another video now. I hope you enjoy it. It's Alex Henley presents his own little tribute to the puzzles section.
When James Sproston asked me to do puzzles back in September, I had no idea I'd ever care so much. Now, crosswords and Sudokus are all I can think about. I can't count above 9, and when asked for directions, I can only use down or across. I just hope no one's realised how much it affected my life. It's got to the point where I don't notice the people around me, because I'm trying to work out if Name That Snake really was a shit puzzle, if I'm just losing my head. Of course, having Joey Barton send in his letter every week has been a pleasure. Just a shame he's threatened to put a cigar out in my eye if I ever forget to put the solutions in again. Anyway, whoever takes over next year, good luck. If I ever get threatened to be sued for a spot the difference photo again, I'm packing in. Ciao. Adios. I'm done, mate. I have truly gone mad. I think it's sub-editor next. Yes, the Courier sub-editor of the year. To present this one is Sunil Nambiar, the only person who knows how to use Adobe Bridge, and Louise Hall, the next editor of the Courier.
First of all, we just want to thank all the sub-editors here. You know, you've done such a good job this year, you know, for your consistency, your commitment, and really just making the paper look fantastic every single week.
Yeah, and on top of that, just making the office such a fun place to be, which is such a big part of the paper, just committing so much time and energy to making it such a community. So big thank you to everyone who's edited this year. But the nominees for this award for people who've gone above and beyond for their sections, at their beck and call, like done some amazing things with the paper this year. So if we'd like to move on to the nominees.
Nominees are Toby Bryant, Georgina Howlett, Scarlett Rowland, Sophie Schneider, Isabel Sykes, and Karis Rose Thomas. And the winner is really someone who has gone over and beyond every single week, you know, and done such a good job. She's a good friend to all of us. She's Isabel Sykes.
Thank you. I just want to say I've had an amazing time at the Courier this year, and I can't wait to do it all again next year. So have a good night, everyone.
Next, we move on to Entertainment Show of the Year. And to present this one, it's NSR's Head of Marketing, all-round legend and already an award winner. It's Liv Cowell. 2 minutes. 2-minute warning. So you need to go to the toilet or something. We'll do this award when Liv comes back. No. Hello everyone. We're going to be back soon, so if everyone can take their seats again, we'll do that whole thing again, and it'll be even better because it'll have someone walking onto the stage at the end of it. Okay everyone, if I can have your attention please, we're going to do the NSR Entertainment Show of the Year. And to present this award is NSR's Head of Marketing. She's an all-round legend. Would you like to come up the stage, Liv Cole?
Good evening. I'm terribly sorry. I couldn't have chosen worse timing to go to the bathroom. Thank you for that kind introduction. I'm thrilled to present to you the Entertainment Show of the Year Award, which is in light of such a fantastic year for NSR. We've improved so much, the quality has been outstanding. And in light of that, we felt that we had to introduce some new awards, including the fantastic Music Show of the Year Awards, which I don't know who won that, but thank you very much. Thank you very much. But yes, no, we didn't feel like it was fair to compare so many fantastic shows against each other when they offer such different things at such a high standard. So in light of that, we have the Entertainment Show. And without further ado, the nominees are 90-Minute Tuesday Show, James Jukebox Jams, the Newcastle Comedy Hour, Poetry in Action, Rose Ed, and What's the Story, Rory? I maintain that I was only asked to present this award so that I would say that last one. Yeah, I mean, anyone that's been shortlisted for this should be very, very proud of themselves. It's been a very tough category for everyone, with such a fantastic variety of what's been offered on radio. It's been a pleasure to listen to you and to get to know you all. But the winner that we've chosen is, in my opinion, the absolute emblem of what the exec have set out to achieve this year on NSR, just in terms of their outstanding professionalism in both presenting and in production. The features that they've created are not only beautifully executed, but they were so well produced, and it makes for a fantastic show to listen to because they work so well as a team. They've worked thoroughly hard over the last year, thrown in it right at the deep end, and there's really no competition because we all agree on the exec that this is in fact the highest standard show on NSR. I'm thrilled to announce we're so proud to have you as our flagship. It's, of course, the 90-Minute Tuesday Show.
I'm going to start this off by saying that I'm a little bit drunk, okay? That's what it's supposed to be. I want to say thank you, firstly, to Harry, because this is his concept that we took on board, and we worked so well with it. And I'm thanking you to these two, because we work so well as a team, I think, and that is what brings it together. That's what makes it a good show.
And just a quick thank you to Alex and Joe who helped out with the show. Okay, have a drink with us. Have a good night.
Well done. Okay, so up next we have NUTV Producer of the Year, and to announce this one we have someone who won this very award on this very stage this very 12 months ago. It's Ava Forbes.
You'll be sick of me by the end of the night. Yeah, production, in my humble opinion, is the best job in TV. My time at NUTV has helped me find my calling. This year, as NUTV's head of production, has been an absolute blast. At the same time, production is a really hard job. You're often the first person to arrive at a shoot, you're often the last person to leave, and its success often feels like it rests on your shoulders. We had some brilliant production this year, and it's my pleasure to present you our shortlist. Is the video going to work?
The nominees for Producer of the Year are Zoe Godden.
It was December 23rd, I remember, because it was the month away from my birthday, and I forced my mum to take me to go to see the Santa Claus 3 in this.
Laura Purvis.
Find someone who gives two shits about all your self-help crap, but you have the last laugh, calling shots from your office phone.
In under half an hour.
Harris Qureshi.
All of them? Yeah.
Okay.
Usually like 10-15 minutes for most of them, and if they're still going on after half an hour, then I just stop.
So, yeah, Ronnie, how do you feel
Alexandra Rajijevska.
how the election season has been this year? Do you think it's been different to last year or previous years?
Well, obviously, the circumstances of these elections.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's hard to describe the recipient of this award without giving the game away, so I don't think I'm going to bother. I owe this person everything, as they've taught me everything I know and ignited my love for all things TV. His dedication to NUTV and to NUSU as a whole is unmatched by anyone I've ever encountered at Newcastle University, whether he is in the city or 100 miles away in Bradford. Not only has his work on Coffee House Sessions been a masterclass in how to do the job as an executive producer, but without him this year, I would have been unable to do the job that I do. NUTV Producer of the Year is not only a dear colleague, but also one of my best friends. And it's, of course, Harris Qureshi.
Is this one James dropped?
Didn't drop it, just fell over.
Sure. There we go. Just to firstly address the whole tech issues, it's sort of a tradition with the live streams for this is that they work the entire week, and then by the time it gets to the media awards, all the tech goes through. Personally, I blame the producer of today's stream, the joke being that it's me and I've just won the Producer of the Year award, so there we go. But yeah, I'd like to thank my Coffee House Sessions crew this year who have been absolutely phenomenal, doing all the groundwork. So that's obviously Laura Purvis, Charlotte Washington, and obviously Megan Smith, my co-exec producer for that show. So thanks, Elle, and see you later.
We're going to move on next to what is a very, very exciting moment for me. It is a pleasure to introduce a former editor of the Courier, way back in 2012 and 13. He's applied his trade at the Evening Standard and now does at Empire magazine. It's Ben Travis.
Hello. Hello, can everyone hear me? All good? Cool. Yeah, thank you for having me back. It's lovely to be here and great to see that so many traditions from Newcastle Student Media are still going, like the Post and Calvert Pizza Hut. And I'm really looking forward to a 6 a.m. curry a bit later tonight.
Yes.
See you there. So, 5 years ago, I was stood right here next to a cardboard cutout of Beyonce, for some reason, celebrating one of the most exhausting but enjoyable years of my life. I had the pleasure, the privilege, and the giant pain in the arse of cranking out a 42-page paper every week with a bunch of mates who were all massively hungover from the sinner's cage. So I might not have done anything as impressive as Lemonade in those intervening 5 years, but honestly, like, who of us have? But I've achieved a lot, and I've learned tons in kind of leaving Newcastle, moving down to London, and becoming the culture and entertainment journalist that I kind of always hoped that I could be. So in January this year, I started my dream job, like my proper dream job. And I wanted to talk to you about what happened along the way, the biggest and most useful lessons that I learned. And some of my experiences are going to be more specific to culture and entertainment journalism, but I hope there's some more general stuff that's helpful for you guys. So when I started at Newcastle in 2009, I went along to the film and music meetings, mostly for the free CDs, the gig tickets, the film tickets. But it turned out that the writing bit was great too, and I got more and more involved, became music editor in my third year, and with a burst of white male confidence, I decided I was going to run for editor. So I was elected to the post in the summer of 2012, and it was an amazing job for the year, as I'm sure James has seen. But fast forward 12 months from there, and I was staring into the swirling abyss of post-uni life. I'm sure there's a few of you feeling that tonight. And that was where the first lesson kicked in for me, which was that things don't happen straight away. So at the end of my editorship, I moved back in with my parents for a year. I'm sure, again, some of you will end up doing that. It wasn't the end of the world. I got a job at my old secondary school, writing press releases, creating brochures, prospectuses, videos, that kind of thing. And my proudest moment there was photoshopping a jumper onto this kid who had forgotten to wear his jumper for the school photo. Honestly, that was about it, but you would never have been able to tell that he wasn't wearing that jumper. It was far from the most exciting job, but it did two things for me. It gave me a chance to save up some money after living at the end of my overdraft for 3 years, and like a young Luke Skywalker, gazing out at the twin suns of Tatooine and dreaming of a more adventurous life, it also spurred me on to other horizons. During that year, I pitched and wrote for Drowned in Sound. I wrote reviews of Marvel films for the Nottingham Post, the local paper, and I tried to do as much as I could to make connections in journalism. So when the Courier won Publication of the Year at the Guardian Student Media Awards, I got 2 weeks' work experience at the Guardian on their culture desk. And that is where I learned one of the best pieces of like properly practical advice that I can give you guys. So if you get work experience, and you can choose when you can do that work experience, always pick the school holidays. Whether it's half term, whether it's Easter, the summer, pick the school holidays, because I was still working full time at the school at that point. And so I took a slot during the Easter break. And it was perfect because half of the Guardian staff were all off on holiday with their kids. And it meant that there was like actual stuff to do. I wasn't sitting around making tea. They needed people around. So yeah, pick the school holidays. As a pair of keen spare hands, I ended up writing film and music news stories for The Guardian Online. I got drafted in to write a column about Mission Impossible 2 for the My Guilty Pleasure series that they were doing. And I wrote about why I love Oliver for the theatre section, which was an argument mainly consisting of the fact that Papa is a banger. So during the weeks that I was at The Guardian was actually when Alan Rusbridge got his Pulitzer Prize, and the office was like flooded with champagne, or probably just Carver, because I don't think The Guardian can afford champagne these days. And I got to join the culture team on loads of post-work pub trips, which is always a really great way to get to know people. That's a good tip. If you do work experience, probably second or third day, say, does anyone want to go to the pub? Because that's how you really get to know people. So fast forward a few months from there, and having saved some money, I made the very sensible decision to quit my full-time secure job in Nottingham and move down to the mean streets of London for a 3-month internship. The culture desk at the Telegraph was where I learned the most in the shortest amount of time. There was the pace of online journalism, the instinct of what is or isn't a good news peg, how to write concisely, pitching timely features and opinion pieces to the desk and to the editors. And they paid minimum wage, which is far better than the nothing of a lot of other places. So at The Guardian and The Telegraph, I learned the value of 2 things that can't be understated. Those are being competent and being useful. So firstly, the competence. Today, you guys should be confident and assured that your experiences here in Newcastle student media have given you an incredible grounding to begin your careers, but that's what it is at this stage. It's a grounding, and the jump from student media to even an entry-level writing job is a huge leap. Realistically, you're going to need the skills and the bylines from work experience placements and internships to make it into a junior writing job. But those placements, they teach you what it's like to be in a real news office, what editors want and how to adapt to their needs. And being a good writer isn't just about developing your own personal voice. The ability to craft just basic, well-written copy with clear, cleanly expressed ideas is a godsend to an editor and a valuable skill in its own right. So speaking from first-hand experience, getting notes back on something that you've written as a passionate, well-intentioned, but still inexperienced intern can be painful, but there's no better journey to improvement than having your work properly edited by someone else who's got years of experience, and there's no greater validation than when those red notes in the margin start to become few and farther between. So that's being competent. Then there's being useful, which is another way of saying, say yes to everything within reason. So don't hesitate when you're given an opportunity, unless it's going to put you in a difficult situation. Always find a way to make it work. During my time at the Telegraph, I reviewed an eccentric middle-class festival headlined by Burt Bacharach, which I was the first to say yes to when the email came through, and that's the main reason I ended up doing it. I got too drunk on red wine on the Saturday night. I was supposed to be at a fancy banquet at the festival the next day and missed half of it because I was throwing up. But when I sent the review to the editor from my phone at the festival and got it back with kind of just a few minor changes, I knew I was on the right track. They asked me to review Bastille at Somerset House, which meant going to the gig and then filing 500 words within about an hour and a half after the gig had ended. And when a hole in the paper came up, my review ended up going in print. So just from saying yes to that, I had a music review in print in the Telegraph. And people will remember the times that you've helped them out, and being available and willing to help goes a long way. And there's also, in these placements, there's usefulness in finding your niche. So at the Telegraph, for me, it was comic books and comic book films, which that can pull in so much traffic online. And so I wrote big sprawling timelines of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. I collated Batman facts for an SEO piece. And I was asked to review Brian Lee O'Malley's new graphic novel for the Books supplement. I don't know if any of you are Scott Pilgrim fans. Glad to hear. So when my Telegraph internship ended, I was lucky. Like, getting a job is really, really hard. But I applied for a 6-month internship at GQ and got accepted just before the Telegraph internship finished. And that was a whole new learning experience, especially trying to write for a men's luxury brand while working on minimum wage in the country's most expensive city. I'd say the pay was peanuts, but peanuts would have been great because then I'd actually be able to eat something. But jokes and financial instability aside, where am I? It was another huge learning curve full of genuinely unforgettable experiences, from queuing up at 1 a.m. In the freezing cold to go and see a teeny tiny Kanye show in Camden. I know that's a bit more embarrassing now after the whole Trump thing, but it is still one of the best nights of my life. And getting to join the GQ Christmas party, which rather than just like going to the pub for the afternoon, turned out to be a star-studded bash where James Nesbitt somehow remembered everybody's name, even when he couldn't remember how to put his feet in front of each other. Rob Brydon popped up to do his Michael Caine impression, and weirdly Tracy Emin gave some kind of bizarre pissed-up speech at the end of the night, which was nuts. So the greatest lesson that I learned at GQ was flexibility and versatility. I was writing mainly for the magazine, and each task was totally different to the last. So I interviewed a glamour model about her BMX collection. I wrote about how to perfect your American football throw, thankfully with the help of an actual expert, because apparently binging all the Friday Night Lights doesn't count. I hideously mangled the names of designer brands in fashion shoot-based interviews, and I rewatched every single episode of Peep Show and turned it into a giant double-page chart for the magazine. It almost killed the show for me, almost. I had to watch them all in like a week. So as a pop culture nerd, half of these things were not in my wheelhouse. Fashion, sport, models, didn't know anything about any of that. And I had the terrifying experience of filing copy directly to the magazine's fearsome editor, Dylan Jones. But it was a mad cocktail that made me more hireable going forward. I got a lot better at writing to the taut and tight word counts of magazine features, and also spent most of my lunch breaks offering news and feature ideas to the online desk. So remember, be useful and get as much experience as you can. So that kind of mix of writing for online and print was a really fruitful combination. I'd recommend, if you can, try and do a bit of both, because they're really, really different. Writing for print with hard word count limits is one of the most enjoyable challenges in writing, and seeing your name in ink is still a real pleasure. But there are far more jobs in digital, and it's the best place for young, eager writers to kick off their careers. And learning more to keep up with the constant roll of minute-by-minute news, writing search engine-optimized copy and social media-friendly articles, that is an entirely different skill set to working in print. So if you can, try and get a bit of both. I realize this is already a long speech. I have a good story. Do people want to hear the good story? Okay, so if you're worried that the worst thing that could happen on work experience will happen to you, put your fears to rest, because I have seen probably the worst thing that could ever happen on your work experience. And it didn't happen to me, thank God. And that includes the time my friend ripped his trousers right up the bum on the very first day of his job in a new office, which was awkward enough. But no, so this was at GQ, and genuinely, please don't spread the story online, because I probably shouldn't be telling it to you, but it's just so good that I had to write it in. So this new work experience guy came in. It was like his second day, and he was asked to transcribe a 3-hour interview with a major film star for the cover. It was the cover story of the magazine, big film star. They'd done the interview out in the States. They'd done this massive glossy kind of photo shoot with him already. And the work experience guy, after transcribing about half an hour of this 3-hour conversation, he pressed the wrong button on the dictaphone and accidentally erased the whole interview irreversibly. There was no way of getting that back. I wasn't even involved, and I would still have embraced the sweet release of death in that moment. So the next lesson, for the love of God, back everything up, especially massive interviews with major Hollywood stars. Anyway, so after 9 months of interning and a really scary month after GQ when I was still job hunting and freelancing, which meant kind of sending emails in my pants, I was more than ready for a full-time staff writer role. I joined the Evening Standard Online in 2014 to write about home entertainment, which was mostly TV, but with a bit of music and tech. And once I realized that no one was doing video game stuff there, I kind of collected that into my little bubble of things as well. So yeah, it was a relentless role. Full of highs and lows, but 2 years later, when the paper decided to bring gaming into the fold, my experience writing about games and tech online and my print work for GQ and for the Nottingham Post meant that I was an ideal candidate for the job to move over to the paper. So writing games and tech pieces in print meant that I got to go to E3 in LA last year. I met the voice of Super Mario. I called up Elijah Wood. Charles Martinet, he is an absolute gent. I called up Elijah Wood to talk about virtual reality and his love of My Dad Wrote a Porno. And I got to go back to LA to visit South Park Studios and talk to Matt Stone and Trey Parker about Donald Trump and time-bending farts. Yeah, it was all great. It was like a really good time. And then I hit a roadblock because in October last year, I was made redundant from that role. So a reminder, print media is still not in the best financial position. And I had just a couple of weeks to try and get some solid ground back under my feet. It was scary and it was upsetting. But I was lucky that the online team were already looking for a tech writer, and I was able to take that job. It was a hard time, but there was a positive from that experience of being let go, because it made me start looking elsewhere. And I applied for a job that I was underqualified for, but I thought sounded amazing, and that was the news editor role on Empire magazine. So I've read Empire since I was about 12. I've listened to their podcast like religiously for the last 5 years, and the magazine has been my holy grail. It's been my Ark of the Covenant, my Sankara stone, and absolutely not my crystal skull. That doesn't exist. And while I missed out on that news editor role, which went to their former online writer, that meant that they then had an online vacancy, which they invited me to apply for. So 2 interviews later, and I was offered the role. And that was in the same week that The Last Jedi came out, so it was a pretty fucking good week. So even just in the last 4 months, my role at Empire has been the biggest thrill of my professional life. If the atmosphere in the office there reminds me of anything, it's actually the Courier office, because everyone is working hard but having the most fun doing it. There's always music blaring, there's snacks everywhere, and nobody slept in a week. It's glorious, and it really is a privilege to be the latest addition to their team. As a film fan as well, it's just been the most exciting place to be. Like, my first proper interview in the job was with J.J. Abrams, which, as a Star Wars nut and a massive fan of Lost, that was massively exciting. And the last time I wore this suit was to the Empire Awards in March, where the guests included Mark Hamill, Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins, Daisy Ridley, Hugh Jackman, Edgar Wright, Clem Fandango from Toast of London, and my favourite filmmaker of all time, Steven Spielberg, which he always deserves a clap. So when I look back over the last 5 years, I can see that actually everything I've done has led me to the next thing in ways that I often couldn't predict. Editing The Courier and winning the Guardian Student Media Awards got me 2 weeks at The Guardian, and that led me on to The Telegraph, and having The Telegraph on my CV was probably a huge boost when applying for GQ. My breadth of pop culture writing and office experience in professional newsrooms brought me to the Evening Standard Online, and my years there teed me up to join the paper, albeit briefly. And then there's Empire, and I'm proud of myself that I've made it there. And I'm no way done either. I am constantly striving to improve myself, sharpen my writing, improve my interview technique, and I'm taking on new challenges and always trying to kind of boost my confidence. All of which is a really long roundabout way of saying, like, just take every opportunity that you can. Everything you do could lead to something else new and unexpected and exciting, and will make you more prepared, more qualified, more employable for whatever's coming next, even if you don't know what that is. I'm sure everyone in this room knows that Newcastle student media is some of the very best in the country. And one of the most exciting things is seeing how far people go. My biggest piece of advice, the one thing I hope that you take away from me speaking here tonight, is that the generations of Courier, NSR, NUTV alumni is like a Corleone-esque extended mafia clan that reaches across the industry. Cherish those connections, both as friendships and as work contacts, because there are so many people in this room who have every chance of breaking through into this brilliant, challenging, bizarre, and difficult industry. My former music editor, Chris Mandel, is now entertainment director at Shortlist magazine. We shared some beers together the other month because we were both at the same event in Rome for Netflix. Alice Vincent, who was culture editor when I was in first year, she's making an incredible name for herself at The Telegraph in print and online. Not only did she encourage me to apply for the internship there that was my stepping stone to moving down to London, but I ended up renting her spare room for a year while I was finding my feet down there. When I went to my Empire interview for the magazine role, I took my portfolio, and that is a tip. Make a portfolio of your work, take it to interviews. It looks really impressive. You can show off everything you've done. And it has loads of issues of the Courier in the back of it from my year as editor. And as it turned out, Johnny Pyle, the deputy editor, he used to go to Newcastle, like way back in the day. He had fond memories of working on the Courier, and he was rifling through the issues during the interview. Just the other day, in the Bauer Media Studios in Soho, where we record the Empire podcast, I bumped into Lucy Johnson, who was working on NSR when I was working on the Courier. And this isn't a clique or an exclusive club. These are your friends and your peers, and there are previous generations who will be willing to help you and offer you advice because they've been there and they know how hard it is and how valuable that advice can be. So when I was editing the Courier, I was the odd one out. And I promise you, I'm wrapping up now. This is the last bit. When I edited the Courier, I was the odd one out because every other editor I'd known had come from either a news or a sport background. And the last one who rose up through the culture sections was a guy called Sam Parker, who edited the paper the year before I started at Newcastle, and he's now digital editor of Esquire Online. So nearing the end of my editorship, I dropped him an email for some advice in improving my CV and covering letter. And he said something about making it down in London that stuck with me ever since. He described his years, which brought him to his Esquire role, as the hustle. And that is exactly what it's been. It's been a mad, unpredictable adventure of being in the right place at the right time, jumping on opportunities when they come up, taking chances, working hard, putting myself out there, and saying yes, taking all those incremental moves forward that then lead to the bigger leaps. It fills me with a new hope that a whole generation sits in this room who will go on to be the hard-edged journalists, the sharp and funny columnists, the vibrant TV and radio presenters, the savvy producers, who in years to come will achieve the same success. And I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your night. And see you in the curry place at 6 a.m.
Okay, we are going to keep going so that we can get out as soon as possible. But if you need to go to the toilet or get a drink, just fucking go. Right? Up next, we've got the Courier section of the year. And to present this one, we have two people. We have Jared, who, being from my city of Carlisle, can breathe underwater and is also an expert on pumpkins. And we have Izzy, who is in the office more than Dan is in Kohinoor. So thank you very much. Two senior editors, Jared Moore and Izzy Watkins.
Hello.
Hello.
So first of all, section of the year. Every single section of the Courier this year has done an absolutely fantastic job. I think in part we owe a lot to James for his work this year. From the start to finish, it's been absolutely incredible. But more and more, you owe it to yourselves for doing an absolutely brilliant job week in and week out. Every single section that has worked for the paper this year could be on this shortlist. So section of the year is more than just being an editing team. It's not more than just being an editing team, but it's like, yeah, exactly. It embodies sort of the process of teamwork. It embodies like the friendships made and the bonds that you'll take into life after the Courier itself. I would like to list the shortlists, and then Izzy's going to tell us a little bit about the winner, but without telling you who it is. So the nominations for section of the year are Arts, Beauty, Gaming, Music, Sport, and TV.
Yeah, and like Jared said, if you've read any of these sections in the paper, you'll know that every single one is deserving of this award tonight. They've all worked incredibly hard all year. But the winners tonight, they don't just create a slick layup every week. They truly embody what the Courier stands for, which is like values of friendship, hard work, creativity, and innovation. They've worked tirelessly throughout the whole year, even over the holidays, and they've really pushed their section forward, really pushing forward the online content, social channels, and working with PR companies too. So the section of the year this year is Music.
Okay, well, what me and Cara said earlier about drinking the contents of our table, that is not true. No, I'm joking. We'd like to, me and Toby especially, would like to say thank you so much to Charlie, who can't be here, but he's also a music editor, is a fundamental part of our team. So please give him a massive round of applause because he was amazing. And also just just James especially, and the whole of the editorial team of the Courier were absolutely incredible, because when we started we were a little bit shit, and by the end of the year we were actually quite good. So thank you so much for helping us throughout that whole process. They were absolutely amazing.
And then from the music section to NSR, to Harry Parsons, to the music section to Meg Smith in particular. Next year you've got big shoes to fill, you'll be missed. And then to Must Sock as well for the on-campus feature, and then personally to Harriet and to Josh as well.
Hello, we're going to move as quick as we can on. NSR Show of the Year. It's presented this year by our Head of Entertainment at NSR, host of the hugely popular Gab Corner, Gabriella Kwaku Yaboa.
So you guys, what do you think makes a great show? It is a special occasion, or it is a regular commitment? I truly believe that in order to have a great show, you need to have the right people, the right time, and talking about something that you actually truly enjoy, and you feel that the hard work actually pays off. But you know what actually makes the show of the year? Chemistry, because you can be a great host, but if you don't create the right chemistry, little bumps become great mountains to climb. Here are the nominees for Show of the Year. So we have the 20 Hours Marathon, which happened. So if you guys don't know, we had 20 hours long radio show during our 20th anniversary, and that was great. Then we had the election debates, thanks to Harry Parsons and all the people that actually helped out his team. The Fight Night, Rory, and the sports team. Lost in Liberty. The SRA chart show. And the music team. I'm actually part of the music team, so. This year, Winner presented a great show which was streamed live across UK student radios, you guys. And what is make everything so great and so magnificent and made it work so well was these three amazing people that I'm going to introduce you eventually. But what they did was so good, and they had actually a feature involving Greg's that was used in Capital Radio the same week. So that was quite of an achievement, and I am so proud to introduce you three people that I actually worked with, and I just think they're amazing people and amazing presenters in the first place. I'm talking about Luke, I'm talking about Alex, I'm talking about Liv. That's the SRA Chart Show.
I broke into your house last night and left a note at your bedside.
I've been elected to speak on behalf of the three of us. Thank you so much. First of all, to Meg and Harry for deciding to put the three of us forwards. We really had an amazing time. I think we agree it was one of the highlights of our years to do this with these fantastic presenters. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you all. And we had a lot of fun. It was a manic couple of days. We were kind of thrown in. We spent a lot of time in that studio. But thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, massive thank you to Meg and Harry as well, who helped to present the show, because I mean, it wasn't just us two. We just sort of turned up in the hour and a half and did it. So yeah, thank you. And also well done to everyone else who was nominated, because they all are amazing shows as well. So yeah. No. Absolutely.
Probably not wise. Go on.
To my babe, Harry. Okay, have a drink with us. Good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Speak to you at school. You leave me.
Well done. Okay, so next it's NUTV Show of the Year. And she's already been up twice, so we might as well have her a third time. It's the hat trick. Ava Forbes.
Just like to, yeah. Oh, that's where my speech is. Brilliant. Yeah, I'll just move this because I'm short. Yeah, you will be sick of me by the end of this. Let me sort myself out. Right. So this award is very close to my heart. It seems so much longer than a year ago that I was sitting where you guys all are now, waiting for my award to be announced, and I'm incredibly honoured to have Student Voices award from last year sitting on my mantelpiece. The quality of this year's broadcasts have been outstanding. It is inspirational how much people are willing to commit to our shows alongside their studies, and I hope that everyone involved in NUTV has found this year as rewarding as I did when I was filming, producing and editing for Student Voice last year. So yeah, if we show the show reel. Oh, is there not one? Brilliant. Yeah, so the nominees for this award, I remember now, are Coffee House Sessions, Society Spotlight, Student Voice, and Toon Vision. The show that has won this award represented a change in how student media runs at Newcastle University for the better. I'm sure my colleagues at the Courier and NSR would agree that a big theme for this year for all three of us has been collaboration, and a show's ability to combine strengths from both TV and radio has done nothing but capture this. The production quality of the show has improved episode after episode, with one of the executive producers, as I said earlier, living in Bradford this year. It goes to show how good communication can go a really long way in media. And this show has also been consistent with a new show every single week. Of course, the award goes to Coffee House Sessions.
I'm going to hold this. I'm a sort of holdy person. I'm not going to talk over people, by the way. This is my acceptance speech. Please listen. Thank you. It's a bit rude. I'm immensely proud of my team this year, who've done a phenomenal job of Coffee House Sessions. It's sadly the last year for Coffee House Sessions at Newcastle. I don't have allowed to tell people that bit to Debbie, but I just have. Oh, okay, I'm not allowed to. But, well, I've leaked that. So it's a fitting end for the show. I would encourage you all to go watch bits of it, because the work that my camera crew have done filming it is phenomenal. And obviously, Megan's interviews are out of this world and very unique. So check it out on NUTV. Thank you.
Right, look at that. There's hardly anything left. Right, okay, so just to pick the mood up a bit, remember wine's only £6, and also we've got another stupid video for you. So I don't know if you've been paying attention, but throughout the year, me and James have been filming just how much we enjoy making the Courier. And soon it turned into something a little bit different. So here you go.
Sorry, Louise. Great stuff. We're moving on to the big ones. Now we're moving on to the big ones. And the man I have to introduce here needs little introduction. He's the cheese to my biscuits. So, of course, please come forward and present the award.
All right, that's flaccid. I'll keep it brief. You've heard enough from me. So basically, this award is all about dedication, hard work, and talent. Over the course of the year, this person will have gone above and beyond, and will have done things that aren't expected of them. They will put in the graft. They'll have talent, and they have put more time in the office than I give them credit for. The winner is, of course, Izzy Watkins.
Thanks, Hendo and James. You've made the paper next level this year, I think it's fair to say. Yeah, your dedication's been insane. So thank you so much. I've been so lucky this year because I've just had the nicest people to work with, like all the senior editors and all the sections, beauty, lifestyle, travel and fashion have just been insane. Like you've all worked so hard and you've made my job so easy. Like I'm literally like scanning the page trying to find something wrong and there's never anything. So yeah, I've loved working for the Courier for the past 2 years. It's been so much fun and thank you so much.
The next person I am set to introduce needs little introduction based on the fact that the radio is going this year because of her. She's the 2016 Newcomer of the Year and now station manager. It's Meg Long.
So I've been involved in choosing a lot of the awards for NSR tonight, but the hardest decision was who was going to win Outstanding Contribution for NSR. People who've been involved with NSR will know that this has been a really successful year for us. So to choose a single person to win this award has been harrowing. I spent many sleepless nights debating over certain people who should win this award. So I decided that the person who should win this award is truly someone who gave an outstanding contribution, someone who has left a legacy for NSR, someone who this year would be completely different if we would not have had that person. They have changed certain departments. They have helped me tremendously. They've gone above and beyond their role. I'm being really careful not to give away who it is, but the winner of NSR's Outstanding Contribution of the Year is Harry Parsons.
I knew that I would not. So good, so good. I got you. Wow, I feel nice. A sugar and spice. I
I would love it. Oh, that's silly, isn't it? I'm far too drunk to do this. Right. Well, for those of you that know me, I don't like to talk much. So, right, 9:45. We'll be done just before Wednesday. Right. Oh, this is silly. That'll make it easier. Right. Okay. So. That is amazing. I'm on stage now, and I didn't think I'd be on stage again. Earlier I was on stage, and we introduced the winner, and I forgot to introduce the winner in the right way. And we introduced Best Music Show, and so therefore I will correct that now, because it's the opportunity. Liv, I can hear your Scottish accent from somewhere now. I have no idea what you're saying, enunciate. So, okay, so we'll make it clear. So we'll just say Liv's show isn't a cheesy music show. It's a 1980s music show, and Liv's show, Meg put this so beautifully, would belong anywhere in the year so perfectly, so that's what I would say to that. It is just, it's incredible. You can listen to any time of the day. Go back and listen to it. It was on for the first semester. It's amazing. Right, I forgot to do that, so that's it, done. Now Liv, chill out. It's about me now, okay? Okay, all right? Okay, Liv, this is about me. Thank God Chris Pilkinson's table is shut up now. They were bloody annoying earlier. Right, okay, so we'll begin. There's a couple of people, oh God, this is silly. I'll thank a couple of people. I want to thank every single person. If you've come to a show at NSR this year, you have made this year what it is. And this award is for me as much as it is for you. It's for you far more than it is for me. You have made this year so brilliant. I'll start. Let's say there's 4 people. I don't know. I've got as much time as I want. No one's hurrying me. So look at James's face. I will say there's 4 people. I think there's 4 people. Right. First person I'd like to thank is my mother. Now, she big Donna Parsons. She's not in the room. I don't think she's even watching. They're on holiday. They didn't invite me on. Genuinely, years and years ago, my mum showed me an advert in a paper for a local community radio station, and she said, you should apply for that. I assumed that was because she was sick of me talking in the house. And I went and applied for it, and that was my first ever show, and that was it. So genuinely, thanks to her. Next, this time last year, it was we had our AGM before the meeting, but a couple of weeks earlier, we just had a conversation with, don't heckle me. So we had a conversation with a couple of my housemates, my flatmates last year, and one of my dearest friends and one of the people I respect the most told me that we were talking about it, and I realized what his drive, his determination was, and I thought, actually, I've got to jump in on that, because uni's about that, and you've got to make the most of that. So I want to thank Toby Bryant. He's your music editor. He's part of the... And Toby did that, and he convinced me to stand for this role without probably knowing it, and so I have a huge amount of thanks to him. Next, I'd go to the wonderful James, to Hendo in many ways as well. But James has done stuff this year that he's created that's cross-media in a way that we didn't think, and it's been a pleasure to work with him so much, and an even bigger pleasure to call him my friend. I know you're shushing people because they're talking because this is boring, but I'm not going to stop. So James has genuinely been an amazing friend, and so I thank that. I'm going to add one person to my 4. I want to thank every single person of our exec this year, because you've made this so easy to do. To live in marketing, to Dermot in news. I was going to take that on, but fuck, I didn't, because that looked tough. To Rory in sport, it's been a pleasure to work with you all. To Meg in music, Meg, you've continued the successful team. You've somehow made it even better, and now your team adore you, we adore you, everyone adores you. Meg Smith, you are genuinely part of why student media works, because people like you put so much time in, they put so much effort in, and they make student media so important because they just keep giving, and we are the recipients of that as the listeners, as the readers, as the viewers. Meg Smith, you are a hero, so thank you. I say Meg Smith because there's one radio station should have 2 Megs with 6 people on the exec. So my final person to thank would be the amazing Meg Long. This time last year, there was a chance in September we wouldn't have a radio station. That was the level we were at. And after the effort we had that Russ put in, that'd be fucking dreadful, wouldn't it? So I'm swearing a lot. So Meg has put so much effort in, so we thank her, not just now, but in 10 years' time, they'll be grateful for that, because Meg resuscitated, potentially, a station that might not exist. So we thank her. She was an amazing head of music, but she's been a formidable head. This is amazing, but this is for every single member of NSR. I thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Come on, get off the stage. That's enough. Come on. See you later.
Your next award will be... No.
It'll be a good keynote in 5 years' time. Next, I'm going to introduce someone who probably doesn't need an introduction. A man who we have to thank for a lot of tonight. Also a man we have to thank for, to blame for a lot of tonight as well. It's Mr. NUTV himself. It's Harris Qureshi.
Surprise. So, ironically, I'm the only member of the station who doesn't have an embarrassing failing show reel to fail behind me, so That's funny. Yeah, a couple of months ago, the winner of this award said something to me which I think was very insightful about my own experiences with the station. I was at the National Student Television Association conference, and I was just pondering how much different my life would be had I chosen my other university choice and gone to Glasgow. For those not in the know, Glasgow has the world's oldest student TV station. It's actually older than most national terrestrial channels. Someone from Glasgow apparently is in the room. Oh yeah, Liv, obviously. Thank you. Don't heckle me. Yeah, so, and what this winner said to me was that, sure, I could have gone to Glasgow, could have been part of a bigger station, perhaps experience a more realistic TV experience, but what I gained from being part of NUTV was an opportunity to actually make change and sort of develop myself as a person, being able to sort of see what I could do to bring bring to a small station and develop that, and that actually was more self-reflective on me than I could ever get from Gust. And I think actually, shows a lot about what this award is about, because every year the station's grown, and usually it's been one person driving behind that to add new aspects to the station. When I came, I tried to make it bigger, more accessible, and the winner of this award has done a lot this year to sort of help improve on that and improve collaboration, etc., etc. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Ava to come up to collect the award for outstanding contribution to student TV.
Forgot my speech last time, forgot my phone this time. NUTV is, it's been a turbulent couple of years. As much as, I love it to bits. I'm nowhere near as articulate as Harry. So I'll just go through to the thank yous and things. I'd love to thank all the committee this year. Although we've been small, we've been incredibly stubborn. And carried on. And we've all worked really hard. I'd like to thank Fiona for nominating me for this award. I wouldn't have been able to do what I do without you, without being able to rant on your bed, in your room. She doesn't have any chairs. And thank you to Zoe, my other housemate. Thank you to my wonderful parents for their patience and letting me do a hobby that is incredibly expensive. All of their support. I hope you're enjoying your curry, Mum and Dad, because they're watching at home. And thank you to the wonderful Harris, who is like a brother to me and has taught me everything I know. Thank you to James for all of your support this year, and the wonderful conversations about football or the Smiths or whatever. And good luck, Louise, next year. Big shoes to fill. I'm going to go off stage because I'm making a tit of myself. But bye.
Help me get things right. Hook me up a new revolution. This one is alive.
Right, okay. Before we go on to the last award, and he's going to hate me for doing this, and he's going to hate all of us for making a big deal about him, I'd like to thank somebody that's on the stage, and it's not myself, because I've not done a very good job, but I'd like to thank James before the end of the night, actually. Look how much he hates it. Look at his face. And look at Harry Parsons, who is about to bring something on stage, because we will give him his leaving gift when we finally leave, but just for now, it is tradition. We'd like to give James some fancy tipples to say thank you very much. James has left and will leave the paper in a better place than it's been for some time. He has increased collaboration between the three branches of student media. He's brought a fresh outlook with a new design, new ideas, and new sections. And I don't think I speak alone when I say that we get our work done on time so that we can get a bang on from that man. And all of that while genuinely being a very, very nice bloke. So thank you very much. And now, so that this doesn't go on for too long, because he really detests this, to present the final award, the Monica Doughty Award, it is James Broston.
Thank you. Sucks to be you because I don't have any emotions, so I'm not going to get emotional. No, I do appreciate it. You've all been all right this year. Well, this award is a very special place in student media, mostly because the person it's named after was not only a legend, but really the foundations of student media. So it's a real pleasure to have an award named after someone who was a lawyer, a receptionist, a secretary, a shoulder to cry on, Monica Doughty, who had an honorary degree from Newcastle just before she passed away last year. So we can give a big round of applause to Monica, please. It's the first year this award has been in this kind of format where we've really appreciated student media as a whole. I don't think anyone's really done that before, and I don't really know why, because we're all sat in one room and we all appreciate each other, besides the subs and directors over there who probably are bored because we're so self-indulgent, but I don't care. I just don't care. Thank you. Genuinely, it's been a pleasure to be able to look over 3 different aspects of media, and it's been a huge pleasure. Obviously, I spend so much time in the Courier, but working with Meg, working with Harry, working with Ava, working with Harris, working with everyone from all different aspects of media has been an absolute pleasure. So this award really goes out to all of you in a way, just for putting up with me and putting up with each other, because that's hard sometimes, because you're all arseholes. But genuinely, I just want to just look around you and just appreciate the people next to you, because they've done a massive and a huge job this year. But moving on to the people eligible for this award, these are the people who have been here through thick and thin. They've been here throughout their whole journey at Newcastle University. They've really, really embraced media in a way which no one else has. They've taken it to heart, they've taken it to their home. And the person who is receiving this award has not only done that in a capacity for themselves, but they've done that for others. And they've done that for me, and they've done that for Hendo, and they've done that for probably most of the people in this room. They've been a father figure to many and an advisor to many, but also someone who listens and someone who takes on board things that you say. So I'd like to congratulate the winner of this award, who is Mark Slaton, a good friend and a well-deserved recipient of this award.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I had no idea when I came to Newcastle that I wanted to be a journalist. I signed up to write for the Courier music section, which is now in safe hands, at Freshers' Fair, and never looked back. I've met so many wonderful people. I've had so many great times, so many great memories of the Courier, of NSR, of NUTV, of TCTV, of all of these branches. Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you very much for giving me this award. It's amazing to have an award in the name of Monica Doughty, who obviously gave so much to the Courier. Never got to meet her, which is a shame, but what an amazing woman. I guess in terms of thank yous, the 3 that stand out are the 3 editors I've worked for. So Tom, who can't be here tonight, but thank you for taking a bit of a wild card and letting me be your news editor. I think I was a bit of a long shot, but I hope that I've done you proud. Vic, I mean, is Vic here? No, but thank you for letting me sort of run riot for a year. I think I was quite a lot to put up with, so thank you for that. And of course, massive thank you for James. who has been not just an incredible editor, but an incredible mentor, an incredible friend, just an incredible, incredible man. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that is it really. So I'm going to use James's list of thank yous because he sodded off for a photo. Thank you to everybody who came. Thank you to everybody who contributed to student media in any capacity over the year. That's also you. A round of applause, please, for Debbie and the tech team. Round of applause for Harris. A round of applause for those stupid videos to Harry Parsons. And a round of applause for James, because why not? Hello.
Massive thank you to Hendo, co-commentator. I've never met a man who hates something so much but still puts so much time into it without being paid. So massive, massive thank you to Hendo.
Yeah, so there's definitely no more stupid videos. That's us, really. Absolutely finished. Definitely. We're completely finished, aren't we, James?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Take your jacket off. We're off, yeah? See you later, guys.